So I went out, bought a camera, drove down to see her at the Goodwin's Family Restaurant, right in downtown Circleville, and I walk into the restaurant, and in the paper box is me, front page, color photo, top of the fold. She didn't say I was that. She just said, I saw your article in the paper. What it showed me was how in small town USA, which most of the vets come from, you see that one slide, small town USA, it's big. And that's where I found it. So what I found was by doing this across the state, and I did, it allowed me to reach not those vets who were deployed, but those who are already home. Because you can't pay for a front page ad in any newspaper in this town. Talk about your program. I called it Share the Fair with the Troops. It was great. I went to every county fair I could. John Merritt was the guy who did my videos for me. And John, you saw the videos, so you know what I'm talking. I couldn't watch the videos. I couldn't watch them because I met the parents, so I couldn't watch them because they were just so intense. And Johnny, you saw them, and you kept telling me, man, this is crazy, this is great. The things that they were saying to their loved ones overseas, it was gut-wrenching, and I didn't want to see them because I didn't want to feel so emotionally involved with it, I guess. I just want to be able to go there and help them out and not, well, you know what they're going to do on the cameras, and it was just tremendous. So it worked great, it really did. And it got the word out there across the state, and I went out and got more cameras and then kept going to more fairs. So it was one of those tremendous things. I couldn't believe it actually happened. I've never been to paper in my life, not even for the honor roll. So, you know, here I am, front page, top of the fold. I bought 100 copies. But anyway, so, I'm sorry. MJ, good to see you.
Hey, John. Okay, you're going to hold for me. I think one difference that I'm assuming between the World War II vets and current vets is that there's so many more women now who had military service. And you kind of, you know, combine all your numbers. Are you getting the same kind of response from the female vets, or are there additional things that need to be thought about?
MJ, it's a great question, and I'm hoping that with the numbers we have this semester, I can open a vets-only female SERV class. Reason being, when I talked to some of the female vets before, because I recruited all types, and then what they tell me was, I said I have a vets-only class and everything else. They didn't say it outright, but I got this hinted from them that the military is really, really majority male. 88% male, 12% female. And it's 100% masculine. Guns, tanks, bullets, the whole bit. So they go from that really masculine environment where they're in the minority big time to a college campus where they're in the majority. The last thing they want to do is be put back into a class in the minority again, talking about guns, tanks, and bullets. But the fear I have is that they won't be able to have a difficult time transitioning because they can't relate to the other females on campus because of what they've been through. So I hope to have enough this semester, and I'm working with the VA on this, to create a vets-only female section and see how that takes off. I have to get enough in there to do it, and I got to break ground on that. And working with women's studies, of course, with that. But it's so important because the VA recognizes it too. I don't want to leave them behind. I've got to find a place for them and allow them to be just women veterans and not veterans in that classroom. So very good point, and I'm working on that. And I'm working with Dayton VA and Wright State to do that officially because I think Wright State has a grant with the Dayton VA or something, I don't know what, but they're going to try it too. So. Yes. Does that answer your question, MJ? Yeah. Okay.
Hi, I'm Sean Honey. I'm visiting. I'm on a preaching fellowship.
Hello, Sean.
I'm an Army veteran. I was in from '97 to 2005, and was very fortunate never to deploy. But I'm just kind of echoing your experience. Even being a non-combat veteran, I've kind of inherited some from my dad. He's got full disability from Vietnam, and I had a hard transition, and it took the first year, if I didn't put myself through 6 months worth of therapy and, found a ministry and a group, I probably would have fallen through the cracks too. But one thing troubled me is you said that, I know there's a new GI Bill now that veterans don't have student loans, but that's new with that new $1,000 a month. That's new. There's a lot of people who got out, who went to Iraq, who went to Afghanistan and started using their benefits instead of falling through. Like me, I'm at $30,000 in debt. Actually, I'm going on 60 because I'm doing a master's program now. But there's a lot of people out there who are just, this new GI Bill is out of reach. So. I
know, and that's what I'm hoping is that, and that's why I try to lower my percentages. And I thank you, Sean, and I thank you for agreeing with the concept on the transition period. What I'm hoping to do is to find, they're working on other bills in Congress, but whether they pay them or not, or fundamental, I don't know. But I know what they have done now is, if you've exhausted your GI Bill, your Montgomery GI Bill, then they're going to give you 1 extra year of the new one. That's right. That's just started, because they're saying what they want people to do is to exhaust it, and if you exhausted it, you get 1 extra year, especially because you were in since that 9/11, so you qualify for that. Contact that guy right there in the uniform, and he'll help you out no matter where you want to go. He'll give the answers to that. Okay. And Elizabeth behind you, Elizabeth, please wait. Contact her as well. All right. They know the details. So, okay. Betty.
John, one of the things that you didn't mention is that, of course, we hope that when these students graduate, they will stay in the area and work in some of the jobs that are currently going begging in this region. Do you have a sense from the students you've worked with so far what kinds of career paths they're thinking about?
It's a great question. And I've talked with the VA about this, and it changes, and I've seen it change. When they first come in, they want to be in some kind of either social work or health care or something, serving other people, because they served their country. You ask a person who's a veteran, were you in the military or the service? They're going to say service, because they served, and they want to serve others. But it changes after the first semester, what I found, is that they go from wanting to help others that come after them, which is normal, to once they accomplish that task. So they have like our fall semester SERV class came in, and they all wanted to say, I want to be in nursing or social work or medicine or whatever. I want to help those to pave the way that I had to fight through. Then the spring semester comes around, and they help the new kids come in. Once they help those women and men come in, then they've done their duty. Now they're major changes. And now they think about engineering, or think about science, or think about math, or something else, because they fulfilled that obligation. If they didn't have the opportunity, Betty, I don't know what they would do if they would continue on that path. So I'm seeing a slight change in majors, and when I talk with the VAs about this, the different VAs I've talked to, they find that to be unique, that they're changing it because they're having the opportunity to serve those who come after them. So we're in the middle of a flux right now with that. And Elizabeth, you can probably expand on that more, and Robert, we're in the middle of a flux right now as far as the majors are concerned. I think they're we went through our first full year of the SERV vets, and I think that we're seeing them to change a little bit, especially like some of the English vets. They're changing their majors now. And we've got a lot of vets now, by the way. I got this one email or text message from one of my students who said, I forget the name of the sorority or the fraternity. It was a honor society fraternity. I'm not honor society, so I don't know the name of it. But he said, John, I got accepted, or I got a letter saying that I'm accepted into the Alpha Delta Gamma Honor Society. I think that's the name of it. And it, ... Is that a good thing? And I'm like, if it says honor society, it's got to be a good thing. I've never been there, so I don't know. But I hope that answers your question, Betty. We're in the middle of flux right now, and I'm taking that data and sharing it with the VA and other universities to let them know what to expect when it happens.
You mentioned reproducing some of the results that happened with the original GI Bill. My father-in-law was one of those guys, and one of the stories he tells, however, is his impression at a very large, very well-known school of being sort of ghettoized, that very definitely there was the GI Bill students over here and the regular students over here. So as this program would spread to colleges where you're not personally running the darn thing, how do you avoid recreating that?
It's a good point, because Dr. Greenberg also mentioned that. But what happened is that their work ethic and their time management skills and everything else, now, as I see that, and also then, overshadowed, and they did much, on the average, not, you get individual cases, but on the average, they did much better than the civilians did. And they were the civilians were upset because they were affecting the curve in a way. So in the beginning, they were not accepted. In the beginning, the universities did not want them on their campuses because of no diplomas, because of all these things, and they didn't want to have that. In Chicago University had a great line by the president saying he's going to open up, the president of the country is going to open up our campuses to the hobo jungles of the world. That was his quote. And once they saw, when they started to succeed on campus, they changed their tune. I had the same thing happening now to universities. They're thinking like, well, are you sure they want to go here? Are you sure? I mean, are they okay? So I'm getting that same kind of feeling. But my feeling is once they see how they work and how they work together, they'll change their mind. It's difficult, though. And I agree with you. To get rid of that perception is challenging. And I have to do it every time I talk to a university.